No DQ Galaxy. We are live with a recap of AEW Collision for December 21st, 2024. It's been a while since I've recapped Collision. I figured with it being live, WWE taping SmackDown and Raw, Dynamite being taped for Christmas night, well, let's do a Collision recap and see what the show is like. It was also a special Christmas edition of Collision at the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City. Of course, that venue hosted ECW shows back when ECW was run by Paul Heyman. And then, of course, One Night Stand. It's held numerous Ring of Honor shows. And now, finally, AEW at the Hammerstein Ballroom. I will say this right off the bat. This is the type of venue that AEW needs to be running on a regular basis. Well lit. It's a smaller venue, but it had a more intimate feeling. The crowd was vocal. They were into everything. AEW needs to be running shows in these types of venues until they can get their numbers up attendance-wise and popularity-wise. So I just wanted to throw that out to get things started here. We kicked off the show. Now, I have mixed feelings about this. I get what they were going for, but the first thing that we saw on this show, and they had the sports lead-in, maybe more viewers than usual for the beginning. The first thing people saw was the Boom guys. Saying Boom repeatedly. Yes, AEW is trying to use the celebrities. The Boom guys are popular on social media, but I'm not sure if I would have used them in this position or not. To me, and this is just me talking, maybe some people like them, but if I'm tuning in and I see these guys going, boom, 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 I'm just clicking off the channel. Just my opinion. But maybe these guys have more of a reach than I can imagine, and people see these guys and they're like, oh, well, let's keep watching this show. These guys are entertaining. Let's see what else they have on the show. Anyways, we had our first match of the evening. The Continental Classic continued. It's getting close to the end with World's End just a week away. We had Will Ospreay versus Ricochet. These two have been going at it for a while. Ricochet full-blown heel in this match. And as a matter of fact, the crowd was throwing toilet paper at Ricochet. And Ospreay was just laughing his ass off at this. The crowd was chanting, F him up, Ospreay. Ospreay had a hot start. Ricochet had to regroup. It went back and forth in the opening moments. Then Ricochet took control for a while. And he even took the toilet paper and wiped his butt with it and then shoved it in Ospreay's face. You know what? I liked this. This is the best thing Ricochet has done as a heel so far. If he keeps doing stuff like this, he might win me over as a heel. Anyways, after the commercial break, Ospreay gained the upper hand. He hit the Styles Clash. Ricochet kicked out of it. And then both of them were on the apron. Ricochet gave Ospreay a DVD onto the apron. The crowd chanted, "You still suck," at Ricochet. And then back in the ring, Ospreay was able to counter the Spirit Gun with the Hidden Blade. Both guys were down. Crowd was chanting AEW. They traded shots, but then the referee got knocked down in the corner. Ospreay went for the cover. He had the match won, but there was no referee. And then Ricochet knocked the referee into the ropes while Ospreay was on the top rope. Ospreay fell down, and then Ricochet hit the Spirit Gun to pick up the victory. Very good match here to kick off the show. Ricochet picking up some momentum. Ospreay taking another loss. He has been losing quite a bit. I'm not sure what's going on here, but Ricochet picks up the win and he has like 9 points now in the Continental Classic. He could be on the road to winning the whole thing. We'll see. We had an Adam Cole and MJF promo in New York City. We finally got a juicy back and forth promo between these guys, even though I'm over the feud. I'm ready for it to be over. I'll give them credit for trying to build some heat for this. They were taking cheap shots. MJF had his personal security out there. MJF said that Adam Cole has bigger enemies, like a gust of wind or a cavity, noting that Cole's dentist isn't seeing him anymore. A little reference to the real-life breakup of Adam Cole and Britt Baker. MJF continued, said Adam Cole was just his sidekick. Adam Cole blew his chance to become world champion. Adam Cole looks like a crack baby. And then Adam Cole brought up how... Excuse me. Need a sip of water there. Jeez. Adam Cole responded by saying that MJF had 2 surgeries on that fake hair of head on the top of his head. But he wasn't going to talk about that anymore. He also wasn't going to talk about how MJF pulled strings to get his girlfriend hired. He wasn't going to talk about that. He said he's not like MJF. He said that he doesn't regret turning on MJF. He just did it first, and he did it better than MJF would have. And MJF knows it. MJF responded by admitting that was true, that Adam Cole was right. MJF said that he had every intention on stabbing MJF in the back, and Adam Cole became a liability after exploding his ankle at Grand Slam. He said that Adam Cole isn't the devil because he just beat the devil to the betrayal. MJF vowed to end Adam Cole at World's End, and then Adam Cole attacked MJF. Security held them back. Adam Cole super kicked all the security, but then MJF took him out with a low blow, and before he could do any more damage, the Kingdom ran down out there and made the save for Adam Cole. What are the odds that the Kingdom turns against Adam Cole at World's End? I'm trying to think how this match plays out. But we'll be talking about predictions next Thursday night, December 26th, night after Christmas. We'll be doing our live predictions for World's End over on the No DQ YouTube channel, nodq.com/YouTube. And speaking of No DQ, make sure you guys vote in the year-end awards over at nodq.com/awards. All the polls are now up for the awards. Make sure you vote. You have the rest of the month to do so. Next up, we had Kris Statlander cutting a backstage promo, talking about how she wanted to right the recent wrongs. She issued a challenge to Mercedes Mone for a rematch for the TBS Championship. And then that led to a match between Kris Statlander and Penelope Ford. Match was solid. Ford got the upper hand for a while. She came off the top with a blockbuster. But then after the break, Statlander was able to kick out of a Poison Rana. And then Kris made her comeback, hit some German suplexes, and then won with the Saturday Night Fever, the Saturday Night Special, whatever it's called. Builds up that momentum for a potential rematch against Mercedes. Mercedes came out there, heavily booed, said she was going to take the rest of the year off, but said she would be nice out of the kindness of her heart. She accepted the challenge for World's End, said she'll beat her again because she's the greatest TBS champion of all time. So what happens here? Does Mercedes beat her again, or do we get a new champion? Again, we'll talk about it Thursday night, December 26th 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, over on the No DQ YouTube channel. We then had more of the Boom guys. They were interrupted by Chris Jericho. Jericho asked if they had a permit to be there, and the kid, I think Big Justice is his name, called Jericho a jackass. Jericho said their act belongs in a toilet, said it sucks like other acts such as the Acclaimed. That led to Anthony Bowens coming out there by himself without the Acclaimed, and he told Jericho to shut the hell up, Jericho's old catchphrase. He issued a challenge. Jericho, of course, declined, and then Bowens scissored the Boom guys to close out the segment. It was what it was. I mean, it's better than some of the other Jericho segments we've seen, but yeah, I'm kind of over Chris Jericho at this point. I'm not really sure what purpose he serves other than just to lend his past name to the company, but I feel like he was most effective the first couple years of AEW, and he's finally run his course. Just my take on it. We had Toni Storm backstage introducing herself to Deonna Purrazzo and Tyra Valkyria, and a match was set up for the Christmas Dynamite. Again, since it's taped, I will not be doing a recap, but live results coverage will be on NoDQ.com. Spoilers, I should say, will be available on the site, so make sure you stay tuned for that. We then had Shelton Benjamin versus Danny Garcia in another Continental Classic match. Good match here with these two. Mostly Shelton Benjamin dominating. Every time Garcia tried to build some momentum, Shelton got the upper hand. Shelton throwing Garcia around, gave him a belly-to-belly on the floor. Garcia actually had the fans helping him up to his feet so he could get back in the ring. And then Garcia managed to make a comeback. He put on a Dragon Tamer submission. Benjamin countered it into an STF. Garcia escaped, and just when it looked like Garcia was done for, all of a sudden, he pinned Benjamin, got him in a pinning combination, and won the match after Shelton Benjamin basically dominated the bulk of the match. Afterwards, Bobby Lashley came out with MVP. They attacked Garcia. Mark Briscoe made the save. He had a steel chair. You had security out there. And then Swerve Strickland showed up out of nowhere and took out the security with a swerve stomp. Then the locker room had to come out there to break up the fight. Good little post-match angle here. Get Swerve on the show. Continue to build up his storyline with the Hurt Syndicate. This was fine. We then had Briscoe in a match with the Beast Mortos. Now, Mortos, as I've mentioned in previous streams, in the tournament to be the guy that takes the L's. He had 0 points going into this match, already out of the running. Shout out to Carmen Jackson, first time on the channel. I appreciate you tuning in. I hope you enjoy the video. I'm here every week with Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, and the pay-per-views / premium live events. This match was good. It was hard to care about it, knowing Mortos had no chance. Really, the only thing he could do was get a victory and say he beat Mark Briscoe, but beyond that, there was no chance of him winning the tournament. It was a solid match, though. Back and forth, competitive with these two. Mortos did get in a lot of offense. He wiped out Briscoe with a spear, but then he missed this knee strike. He went over the top. Briscoe took him out with several dives. He came off the top with a Sky Twister moonsault, and then he took the steel chair, did the Sabu move where he jumps off the chair to the outside. But then back in the ring, he went for the froggy bow elbow. Mortos got his knees up, and then Mortos almost got the match in his favor, but then Briscoe recovered. Briscoe finally hit the froggy bow. Mortos kicked out, so Briscoe came off the top with another one and then finished him off with the J Driller to win the match. I know they had to have their clinic here, but because it was anticlimactic going in, I would have been fine with it just being a quick 2-minute squash. Mortos, he's in the spot he's in. Let Briscoe pick up a dominant victory. I don't know. Felt like it was longer than it needed to be, but it was a good match. We had Julia Hart cutting a promo, warning, or just basically saying that she warned Jamie Hayter, and Jamie Hayter has no right to be calling her a coward. They have their match coming up on the January 1st Dynamite. We had Thunder Rosa attacking Mariah May, the women's champion, backstage. Mariah May was insulting Thunder Rosa's father. Thunder Rosa took it personally. Mariah tried to run out by the ringside area. Thunder Rosa went after her, and we had a little mini pull-apart brawl with the officials, and the crowd, of course, chanting, "Let them fight." Thankfully, they didn't do the whole thing where each one breaks through the security. They kept it short. We then had our main event of the evening, Darby Allin versus Claudio in another Continental Classic match. Darby went right after him before the match could even get started. They fought by the stage. Darby climbed the scaffold of the staging area and jumped off. Darby Allin doing crazy stuff as he tends to do. It looked like he may have hit his head on the floor. Hopefully he's okay from that. I mean, he continued. Darby Allin seemingly damn near kills himself every week and always manages to keep on going. They got back in the ring. The match officially started. Claudio immediately got the upper hand and then did the big swing, a very long swing. It was like 35 seconds long, 40 seconds, something like that. And then after the break, Darby started to build momentum, but then Claudio drove him through the timekeeper's table, got him back in the ring, and then Claudio threw him out. He did what he did to the Big Show at WrestleMania in that Andre the Giant Battle Royal. He slammed him over the top rope, and Darby's back hit the apron. More punishment to the back. And then Claudio gave him a swing into the steel steps. He was just beating the crap out of Darby, but could not get the win. Darby kept kicking out. Darby tried to make a comeback, came off the top with the coffin drop. Claudio got his knees up. He powerbombed Darby. Darby still kicked out. And then finally, Claudio decided to cheat. He got a steel chair. Referee took it away. And while the referee was distracted with the chair, Claudio hit Darby with the brass knuckles and got the 1-2-3 victory. So now Claudio is in contention to win the tournament. Good match to end the show. And overall, it was a good Collision. It's the first one I've watched with full focus. I sometimes have it on in the background. This is the first one I've watched with the sole purpose of doing the live stream recap. It was a good show. It felt like a Dynamite. It didn't feel like a B show. It did have a main show vibe to it. And like I said, I enjoyed the crowd atmosphere, and they did put some bigger matches on the show. It wasn't just, with all due respect to them, the Outrunners versus the guys, the Bear Bronson guys, whatever they're called. Bear Mountain, I'm not even sure what their name is, but we didn't get those types of matches. We actually got some marquee matches, and really they put the bigger Continental Classic matches on this show than what they have for Dynamite. So, you had Ospreay, you had MJF and Cole. Iron Savages. Those are the guys I'm thinking. So it felt like with star power, it was a bigger than average Collision, and it was a good show. I give it a solid B. I enjoyed it, and I hope for both shows, maybe with Rampage ending, they can boost up Collision again and run some of these smaller venues and make the shows more must-see. I'm hopeful they can do that in the future. This was a good show. I'd recommend it. If you did not see it, I think it's worth checking out. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching the recap. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you stay tuned to No DQ. We got No DQ&A video Sunday night live, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on the No DQ YouTube channel. Stay tuned for that. NoDQ.com will keep you covered. Have a happy and safe holiday season for whatever you celebrate. Enjoy the rest of 2024. Have a great night, everyone. Say yes to NoDQ.com, and I will see you all next time.